Right, well, welcome ladies and gents. Let's do our box office discussion like we do here every single Sunday. Let's talk about it, shall we? For those that don't know, hiya, how you doing? Jasper has actually made an appearance. He's in the room. I don't know. I've got to talk about it. He's here. He's in the office. For a change. Anyway, less of me. Let's talk about the box office. So, Transformers: Rise of the Beast has beaten Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which did a relatively large drop-off. Not huge, but a relatively large drop-off. Now, I think the real surprise here is Transformers: Rise of the Beast to a degree, not in terms of the fact that it beat Spider-Verse. It was always going to, because opening movie, it was always going to do more than a movie on its second weekend. I'm surprised it didn't do more. That's the surprise in my eyes. So it didn't. I don't think this did great, which is really unfortunate, actually. But whatever, it is what it is. So Transformers: Rise of the Beast did its opening weekend of $60.5 million. That's domestically. But it's not really that good. I'm surprised. And then you look at Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which did $55.4 million domestically. Now, in terms of drop-off wise, and this is why I think it'll put it into perspective as why, Rise of the Beast wasn't that good. Because, Jasper's gone now. Because Across the Spider-Verse only had a 54% drop-off. 54% drop-off. And then 55.4 million, but then 60.5 is the opening weekend for Rise of the Beast. It's a shame, is I guess what I'm trying to say. It is a shame. You'd think that it would be doing a little bit more. But hey, is what it is. Now, Across the Spider-Verse, should I say, sorry, has now taken $225.5 million worldwide. Pretty good. Pretty good. It beat out Into the Spider-Verse as well. So it's already beaten that, which is pretty good as well. So not bad. And it's doing better than the generic Marvel titles with their second week drop-offs. 54%. That's pretty good for a Marvel movie at this point in time. Most of them are a 60% drop-off average. So it's doing pretty decent, but it also shows that a lot of people that were expecting Rise of the Beast to be a flop, it's not. In China, it absolutely obliterated it, which makes Disney look like idiots, accusing China and Korea of being racist for not watching The Little Mermaid, because it did $40 million in China. Which, these movies traditionally always do well, but it's got a diverse cast, It's got a pretty damn diverse cast. So it's got nothing to do with racism in that aspect. This is a movie that appeals to them and they like it, no matter what race the actors are. So Rise of the Beasts absolutely killed off Spider-Verse. I did $8.8 million in previews, pretty good, but that was from Wednesday to Thursday, so that makes sense. It's quite a long time. Now Northeast, obviously there's some air quality business that they're talking about. Most people just don't care about this. They don't care. This is Deadline trying to get a bit of, climate alarmism in their article, which is just nonsense. So who cares? But anyway, Rise of the Beasts overperformed in the West, South Central, and Southeast, but under-indexed in the Northeast, apparently, which is interesting, because apparently the pick takes place in New York City, so they're expecting it to do well. Canada did 6.9% of the film's overall business, so pretty good with Canada as well, which is crazy. Major markets that over-indexed include LA, so they're breaking it down by location in the States. LA, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Phoenix, and San Antonio. While major markets that are under-indexed include Boston, Denver, Minneapolis. And then a lot of it was from LA in terms of the bulk of it. So the global start, worldwide, 170.5, with $40 million coming from China. That's great. That's really, really good. Now, you had Paramount domestic distribution boss Chris Aronson talking about this as well. So he says, there's a love for this franchise. That's why there's been as many films as there's been. We've made a movie that was uber satisfying for the audience. Apparently, loads of people really like this film. I haven't managed to see it this weekend. I was competing in a bodybuilding contest, so I've not been here. That's why Friday there was no videos. Friday was when this was released in the UK, and I was going to watch it then, but I haven't been able to. But I'll get to it. Now, interestingly, Bumblebee obviously had the lowest opening in the Transformers franchise at $21.6 million. That actually laid the groundwork for introducing this film. And I think people really do want a sequel to this. Massively, in fact. Deadline even notes here, it's part of the reason why we're seeing a lift here in Rise of the Beast, because of Bumblebee. It's important to note that Transformers movies typically open on their own weekend in a summer. And Bumblebee was a Christmas play, serving as counter-programming and third fiddle to Aquaman. So they think that's why it sort of didn't do as well as it should have, I guess. But yeah, loads of people really like the film, essentially. Loads of people really, really like the film. It's doing very, very well. Other films are now bombing even further. You know what we're going to be talking about here, don't you? Ladies and gents. The Little Mermaid. Now, Disney's keeping this in theatres massively. 4,320 theatres. I bet you anything, and this is the thing, right? This is what's comparative and really important to take a look at. So, Rise of the Beasts did $60.5 million opening weekend in the domestically, with only 3,678 theatres. Now, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has more theatres. They just have a better theatre agreement with the distributors, with the studio, sorry, with 4,332 theatres, and obviously has had that drop off now of 54%, but still doing pretty well. But The Little Mermaid, 4,320 theatres, so pretty. I mean, literally just shy of Spider-Verse. This is Disney having their sort of domination over theatres. And a huge drop off, 45% from the last weekend. So week 3, $228.8 million domestic. And that's its biggest market, and it has now bombed. It's just an absolute bomb into oblivion. So, funny stuff, to be fair. Really, really funny stuff. Not a surprise, though. Again, we'd expect this from this movie. It's getting A- cinema scores. People are loving it. People just like Rise of the Beast. So, Rise of the Beast has absolutely smoked The Little Mermaid out of the water. $60 million domestic. And it's just blowing up, basically. So, let me know what you think of this all down below in the comment section. Love to have you here more often. Ladies and gents, sorry to randomly appear on screen then. But look, loads of you love my little dog, Jasper. And he was here in the office, which is very unusual. He doesn't come in here anymore. Don't understand why, but he's been making a little appearance every now and then. So good on him, although he's gone now. So anyway, cheers guys. Take care.